You ever look at old school pictures? Every picture, black and white picture, you go back to, say, the early part of the 1900s, on back. Every single guy had some kind of facial hair. Mustache, beard, sideburns. I think it was World War I. They started shaving clean. And the reason why is because they had to put gas masks on, and that's what I was told. They had to put gas masks on, and they found out that, you got a mustache, now the gas is getting through there. So that was when that came, but I don't know when it became a thing in the White House. Wall Street Journal had a whole thing on J.D. Vance is bearded, and if Donald Trump gets elected, he'll be the first vice president since Charles Curtis, 1929 to 1933, to have any kind of facial hair. Al Gore did it, but he was out of the White House by then. Joining us now is a guy who is an expert on branding, the Idea Grove, which is just a groove to me, ideagrove.com. And let's talk about manly beards with Scott Baradell, who doesn't have any. You're bald-faced, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
All right. Scott Baradell, the bald-faced marketer. That's your new slogan or something. Hey,
I'll go with that. I like it.
You should. So are we bringing facial hair sexy again, right? It means, I don't know, to me, a guy with a mustache or a beard, I had one, it makes you look more smarter. The most intelligent man in the world. Remember those commercials?
Yeah, well, what's really happened is it's increasingly been associated with masculinity, and I think it goes right into, the image that Trump and Vance want to have. And not only that, it's reflective of the change in generations. I mean, this is the first person on the presidential ticket that was born in the 80s. He's part of a trend where more and more men under 40 have facial hair. Almost half have some kind of facial hair. So there's just been an increasing trend toward men having facial hair in that age group, and J.D. Vance is part of it.
I can't believe you just said he was born in the 80s. I feel so old now. There's a difference, too, in the type of facial hair is in image. I mean, if you have a trim beard or the gruff one, the scruffy one, don't people look at you different or maybe not?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think that it communicates something different in terms of the image you're trying to get across. But, the big reason why people were discouraged, or politicians in particular, were discouraged from wearing facial hair is political consultants for years advised candidates that people thought you were hiding something if you had facial hair. And so you seemed less honest. And now that association has gone away, and people associate it more with just being virile, being masculine.
I wonder how long before we have a president or vice president with a neck tattoo. Those are way more accepted now than they used to be.
Well, funny you should ask that. I looked that up because, it's only a matter of time, because tattoos like facial hair have become much more popular for men and for women than they used to be. And, I think the last president that had a tattoo was in the mid-1800s, and it's probably not too long before it's going to happen again.
Trump doesn't have any tattoos. I don't think Kamala Harris has any tattoos that I have heard about. What about, does J.D. Vance seems like the kind of guy that'd have a tattoo.
I don't think he does. I'm not sure if I got absolute confirmation on that. The last, and a lot of presidents who may have had one, there wasn't a confirmation. For example, there were lots of rumors that Teddy Roosevelt had one, but never confirmed.
What about, well, back in his day, it was only sailors and pirates and stuff had
Exactly
tattoos.
Right. Exactly.
I remember, we were just talking about this over the weekend. Back in my day, by golly, when I was a kid, it was bikers and sailors, former sailors and Marines that had tattoos. Everybody else, no. But it's way different now. Okay, so what about this was brought up to me. If you have tattoos and you're in sales, or not tattoos, I'm talking beards. Hello, I'm off on tattoos. What if you have a beard?
I think I steered that direction. Sorry.
Yeah. What about beards or a mustache in a sales realm?
Well, I think the same principle applies. I think that beards and mustaches do not communicate deceptiveness as was the fear in the past. They communicate strength. And so someone who comes in a sales role or any role where you're trying to communicate that sense of strength and masculinity, people perceive it that way much more than they have any negative perceptions like they had in the past. You mentioned, how World War I and that the influence of that on kind of men going away from facial hair in the United States. 20 years when the safety razor emerged. People didn't have to use straight razors anymore, so that was a big part of it too. But starting in the 60s, beards began making a comeback, and they've come on even much stronger in the last 20 years.
Yeah, that was the hippie beard back then, man.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm a guru. Yeah. We're talking with Scott Baradell. His book is called Trust Signals, Brand Building in a Post-Truth World. You should have a whole chapter on facial hair in there, maybe.
I hadn't thought of that. The next edition.
Well, okay, so now you just got to go around to corporations and give the talk at luncheons on facial hair. But you're going to have to grow some. I would grow. I had a beard for a while, but it comes out white now. It makes me look a lot older. So I don't know. So unless you get the beard color, but then see how you get into all of that. All right, the fur ceiling or the beard barrier. Trump's get elected. This will be the first vice president, anybody in the White House, president or vice, with facial hair. Hey, Scott, ideagrove.com. I love this. We'll keep in touch, and we'll talk again soon, bud, okay?
Thank you.
See you later.